Welcome back to Wealth of the Future. Today is Saturday, July 15th. And I'd like to first of all start with thanking you for actually tuning in to my channel, subscribing, and liking the content. Also, any questions you have are always welcome. Always looking to get some new topics that maybe I can look into or research and give you guys the best content. So that's what this channel is about. And your time is much appreciated. So without further ado, we're going to get into a little bit of an overview on where the markets stand today and also where I think some of the ICOs in terms of pricing may go from here. It's been very interesting because I think everybody who's kind of covered this space for some time now would agree that from an ICO perspective, we had just ICO after ICO after ICO week after week almost in some cases. And now we're nearing kind of a summer slowdown where the rate of ICOs or exciting ICOs that are widely covered are starting to drop off a little bit. And it's going to be interesting to see what that does for the price. But more importantly, for the ICOs that have already been funded, it's going to be very interesting over the next couple months now that they've received their funding basically essentially to complete their developments or do something, where the prices will go from here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. And then just some anecdotal, evidence or observations on a general, Southern California town and awareness on the Ethereum or Bitcoin space. How much interest is there from people, regular people, maybe not necessarily nerds or people into technology. And it's very fascinating. I think it speaks a lot to answering the question about whether Bitcoin is in a bubble or cryptos are in a bubble and even where the market cap could go. So these are obviously my thoughts. It's not considered an investment advice, so do with it what you will. But it is very telling, at least for me. So it's kind of reassures me. It makes me feel like where we're at in the stage of the game, I have some convictions that allow me then to actually maybe buy more or look at other ICO opportunities or just do further research. So let's do a quick market cap. Right now, Bitcoin is just under $2,000. Obviously, not too long ago, Bitcoin was around $3,000. So considering that high, it's come down quite a bit. Coindesk.com, which is a great resource for news in the blockchain and crypto space, has as their frontline article that Bitcoin price drops below $2,000 as crypto markets fall toward 70 billion. So it wasn't too long ago that we had the crypto space above actually $100 billion, and now we're touching or we're approaching 70 billion. So that's quite a bit of money that's been basically released off the table, if you will. So I think we'll continue to see a little bit of that, especially in the summer here. People are taking vacation. People are also very nervous about the August 1st issue with Bitcoin and maybe how that'll be resolved, what the adoption will be for resolving some of the processing issues with Bitcoin and the delays, so the scalability debate, if you will. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. In the meantime, we've seen some relative strength in, I think, Litecoin. And again, obviously, it's not investment advice, but we have seen that Litecoin has gone down quite a bit, just like other cryptos. But in a relative case, maybe to maybe how Litecoin would have fared in months past, we're actually seeing that Litecoin is showing some strength here, and I think maybe some people are actually flocking to Litecoin, selling Bitcoin, and going into Litecoin as a way to avoid some of the volatility and uncertainty with Bitcoin. Now, obviously, if the whole debacle with the whole issue with Bitcoin doesn't go down quite well, I think we'll see a sell-off in most of the cryptos anyway. So I think a lot of this success in cryptos is riding on the success of Bitcoin, obviously. So we're just going to have to see how this plays out. But I still, as a younger guy here, I still think that I'm still interested in Bitcoin. I'm still interested in Litecoin. I think Bitcoin is still the honey badger of cryptocurrencies. I expect that over the long term, these issues will be resolved. And so that gives some conviction in, for me personally, on what it is I'm doing, what it is I'm researching, what the opportunities are in this space. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that, Bitcoin, as we approach August 1st, do you think the price will go up? I tend to think that actually we'll see more of a selling until there's a definitive news that basically this issue has been resolved, and it may actually not even be August 1st. Until that issue is resolved, we'll continue to see slide in the Bitcoin prices. But, a lot of people have averaged in their positions, so it's not that big of a deal to go down to even $1,000, in my opinion. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. Other interesting things here on the market today. I didn't cover this so much in the last video, but there are some rather interesting positions, in different ICOs. We've seen ICOs go down around 50, sometimes 50, 60%, and they continue to go down, and they may continue to go down even more. But I think we're in an interesting space here where, again, the funding has been given to these ICOs, and now it's up to them to actually deliver a product, which is the most trickiest part. And I think we're going from a position in a lot of the Ethereum blockchain space where there was these ideas, there was these white papers, and people got really excited and started to buy and fund these ventures, right? These token events. And we're transitioning to a space now where it's going to be very important and imperative for a lot of these ICOs to have very good communication and very good updates on where they're at in the development of their platform, or whatever they actually promised in their white paper. Because what we're starting to see in a lot of the Slack channels, which is the technical forums where teams get together and discuss the details on a lot of these coins, if you will, we're starting to see a lot of the maybe non-technical folks think about ICOs almost like a stocks. They're expecting instantaneous, run-ups to 10 times, 100 times profit, and you're just not going to see that. I mean, in engineering, a typical product will take between 18 months to 2-3 years sometimes to refine and get right. And ICOs are going to be no different. You could throw a bunch of money in it, but there's still going to be the initial prototyping, the testing, obviously getting all the resources and the right team together, and understanding all the technical requirements for executing a project. So I think there may be some more buying opportunities here because of that uncertainty with a lot of these projects, and maybe a misunderstanding on some folks that have started to get into this space, what realistically the trajectory is on the adoption or actual product offering that'll be released. And so that's going to take time, because a lot of these, I think, I did an anecdotal research here, and 70-80% of these ICOs don't even have a product today. You look at a company like Pillar, right? Pillar is a great example that has this great idea, but ultimately they still need to build out the product and actually have the adoption and build some of these features that they talked about in their white paper. That's going to take a lot of time. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen not going to happen in 6 months. It's going to take time. So I think the market may have gotten a little bit ahead of itself here, and you're seeing a lot of the market caps around $100 million market cap without a product necessarily released. Now, one particular product that is a little bit interesting, which I may have talked about here on a previous video, is the BAT token, which also incorporates the Brave browser. So I've actually downloaded this Brave browser. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, and it's actually provided excellent performance, at least for now, without the whole BAT token built on top of it or integrated necessarily. But the Brave browser itself has performed very well. I've been able to watch YouTube videos with good quality and without buggy ads and unnecessary ads, in my opinion. But obviously, YouTube needs to make money to actually provide their hosting, so it does make sense. But I was researching. It got me thinking that if this Brave browser becomes has higher adoption and users looking at it, then this could be a disruptor for YouTube and other advertising content providers, right? Because that's how they make their money, on JavaScript-based ads. So I started to research. Bat Token, for example, has 1 billion coins on the market. I started to research, how much, just YouTube alone, what is the revenue that YouTube gets for videos, in a year, for example. And I think supposedly, based on the preliminary research I was able to gather, it was around $3 billion. So that kind of gives you a sense for maybe where the valuation of Bat Token should be. Today it's trading in the teens. You could pick up quite a few of them, and people are just selling them like candy. But that could be a substantial multiple there, assuming the adoption rate is met. Now, in order to quantify that or try to determine if that's actually happening, what you could do is you could actually do a Google Trends search, which I've started to do, and I'm trying to figure out a way to integrate some of this content in my video without getting sued. So hopefully I'm able to do that at some point. But you guys can do it for now. You can go to Google Trends and just look up Basic Attention Token or the Brave browser downloads, and you can see that the numbers from July on have started to really take off. So we can start to put numbers and make some assumptions about what the adoption rate would be. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys some tools there on maybe how to assess some of these ICOs, and I wanted to highlight one of them, that is a Bat Token, where there is actually a partial product developed, which is the Brave browser. Now the integration with the coins and adoption of advertisers to use this is still a big question mark. So those are the two parts of the equation that's going to make this very successful. And then you're talking about a coin that could potentially have a market cap of several $billion. So that's just one of them. Obviously, there's many others. And what other things are interesting? Today I was out, playing basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan, hooper here. And, I just was going around, and I've done this actually over the past couple weeks, trying to assess what the interest or knowledge is on the crypto space. And surprisingly, out of, hundreds of people that I've interacted with from various education levels, people involved in banking, people involved in engineering, people involved in law, there is very little knowledge and very little awareness on the space. So I think to put aside all the hoopla on YouTube about, is this in a bubble or are a lot of people just starting to adopt this? We're nowhere near that. We're nowhere near even what I would call smart people starting to look into this. This is still very much a niche, nerdy type of thing, in my opinion. And I might be alone in that regard, but let me know what you guys think. So just want to give a quick video. I want to thank you guys for checking in and watching Wealth of the Future. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. And hopefully I will be able to create another one because I have some more news I want to share with you guys. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Talk to you guys later. Bye.